You know, bikes are going through a funny stage in the old styling stakes at the moment. Especially with these sort of half fairings. They're neither one thing or the other really, are they? They're not a sports tourer, they're not an out-and-out sports bike. They're a sort of an in-betweenie. We've got the Sprint RS, we've got the Firestorm, the TL1000, and now we've got this, the Aprilia SL1000 Falco. It's an all-new bike, but uses an engine based on the highly regarded RSV Melee. It feels very much like the RSV, being pretty tall at 815mm in the old seat department, but really is very, very different. First, the engine. Borrowed from the RSV Melee, it's that narrow angle 60-degree twin, as against the Firestorm, which is a 90-degree, and the TL1000, all those are 90-degree, and Ducati, of course. But this is a narrow angle, so it's not as inherently smooth as a 90-degree, so they fitted a couple of balancer shafts, one down in the crankcase, one at the rear of the cylinder head, and that evens out the firing impulses and makes it a very smooth motor. But the big difference is they've lopped 10 brake horsepower off the top end by remapping the ignition and the fuel injection to give a wider spread of power low down. You still get 112 brake horsepower though, and you can really feel it. Crack open the throttle and the front wheel lifts. But as regulars will know, I like my engines with a bit of character, and this one's got loads. A sort of Pavarotti on speed with loads of punch from anywhere you care to nail it, but equally torquey enough to pobble along in touring mode. The gearbox is slick with well-chosen ratios, and blasting into 10,500 revs will see you doing 157 miles an hour, and probably losing your license to boot. So it's no slouch. Handling too is as sweet as the proverbial nut. And that sweet handling is due in no small part to this new frame. Twin tube as against the big spars of the RSV, welded here onto these big castings for the swinging arm. And the swinging arm, as you can see, it's not as fancy as the RSV. It's very nicely done, all finished off in anodised aluminium. In there, single shock, as you can see, easily adjustable for preload on those two rings there, and it's also got compression and rebound damping. But just look at this up the front here. We don't normally talk about headlights a lot, but that one's absolutely fantastic. If I just switch it on and demonstrate this, look at that. You can't see too well in this light, of course, but it really is good at night. Absolutely brilliant. And this little fairing here, I say little, is pretty substantial. It hasn't got any lowers, but it really does give you good protection. Just as well, because at this time of year it's very effective at keeping the old wind chill factor at bay, and this allows you to still enjoy the handling. Its firm but compliant suspension and a low weight of 190 kilos, coupled to a shortish wheelbase, gives that sports bike feel, but with a bit of comfort thrown in. Or perhaps thrown in is the wrong word, because I've actually given some thought to this. The clutch lever is adjustable, as is the brake, fully adjustable for span. The front forks are fully adjustable, just like the rear. They're adjustable for preload, compression and rebound damping. And as you can see, they're upside downers. Down there also you've got your 320mm disc, which has become pretty standard these days with the old Brembo calipers. Coming back up the front, nice instrument layout here. Looks a bit sort of plasticky, but it does the business. Just look at this. Switch on, the old Rev Counter goes round just to scan and recalibrate. A nice hefty digital speedo there, nice big digits so you can keep well within the speed limit, officer. And over there you can see it flashing cold, because it is at the moment, but you've also got the clock in there and all your trip recorders. And actually, while I'm up here, let me just mention these mirrors, because it makes a pleasant change on a sports bike these days to actually be able to see what's behind you. Very useful. Also something else here, plastic petrol tank. Beautiful finish on this. You can't put a magnetic tank bag on there, of course, but nevertheless, a nice tank. And again, the same as the RSV. The seat, while I'm at it, got a pillion perch here. It's in fact separate. Little key there, you can take the top off and just put your waterproofs underneath. But as you can see, it's got grab rails there for your pillion passenger, so you're not going to lose them. And something else it's also got, which other bikes are missing, got little bungee hooks there, so you can strap your luggage on the back there without losing it. So there we have the Falco. Closer to a Firestorm in character than a Sprint RS, while shorter and lighter than either of them. On the other hand, it's taller and at £7,474 more expensive than either of them too. If you like a bike with character though, you'll certainly like the Falco. But like so many bikes today, the choice is a personal one. Half fairings or not, It ain't half difficult.